So the boundaries that you have enforced is causing some friction. It's causing some resistance. And now you're getting like all of this feedback. When you begin to really value who you are as a human being, and you just sit with yourself and you really think about what I like, what I don't like, what feeds my soul, what doesn't, what irritates me, what triggers me, what makes me sad, what makes me happy, what gives me anxiety, what gives me peace. When you're able to really sit back and think about your life, you get excited. I know I get excited because then I can allow my pencil to become my wand and I literally write down what I want to happen in my life. And I thank God for it happening. I allow Him to just move in my favor and just work miracles out for me. And that is where you are now. So a part of, self-love and loving yourself is setting boundaries with people. People don't like boundaries. Some people have very rigid energy. They have very unsettled spirits. They're in and out. I remember when I was a kid, when we kept running in and out of the house, adults would say, get in here and sit down. You know what I'm saying? We've got people in their 50s and 60s and 70 years old. They're sitting up here running the streets like fools. Honey, get somewhere and sit down. They can't sit down because they have an unsettled spirit. When you have an unsettled spirit, no matter what somebody does for you, it's always going to be a problem because you can't get nowhere to sit down long enough to work on you. So then you enforce boundaries. You enforce, some things of expectations, what you're willing to accept and what you're no longer willing to accept. And they can't take it. They can't handle it because they don't like it. Because that type of spirit likes to just bum rush into people's lives and destroy it. But because you know who you are in the Lord, now you're standing in your power and you're saying, I'm not doing this anymore. You can't just come over here unannounced. No cursing in front of me, no disrespecting me. And I want you to understand that when you stand up for yourself, that is sending out a signal into this whole atmosphere to let the enemy know, no more over here. You can do it over there, you can do it over there, but no more over here. And if you don't like it, that's okay. Just don't come back because I'll be just fine. See, what it is people never expected for you to be just fine. They always wanted you to be codependent on them. They always wanted you to have them in your life. You always had to have them coming through the front door, coming through the back door. You always had to get that telephone call. You always had to get that text message. You always had to have somebody to say something to you to make you feel good. That's what they wanted you to just hold on to, that kind of like dangling a carrot in front of you. And then what happened is you got tired of that. You got tired of the empty promises. You got tired of the manipulation. You got tired of not being seen for who you really was. And you got tired of being in the presence of bad company. Can we just be 100% honest? Bad company. You're worth more than that. And because you know that now, and because you've enforced boundaries, it's the problem. It most definitely is a problem. But because you are determined not to bend on it, it's even a bigger problem. Because I want you to know something. Toxic people are master manipulators, and they have been able to use flying monkeys, family members, friends, even co-workers to really manipulate and get their way. I tell you, some of the most insecure people are the ones who put up the biggest front, like they're the toughest ones in the room, but yet they're the biggest babies in the room. We have adults not even able to handle their own adult business without depending on the person that they abused and misused. And then when you enforce a boundary, or when you just tell them bye out of the blue, they can take it. They never expected for it to happen. But now because you've changed and you know who you are, that's a problem. And I think that I need for the enemy to understand that no more will we tolerate being devalued, mistreated, and not appreciated. And it doesn't matter who flows with us or who leaves. The one thing that we'll always have is God. The second thing we'll always have is our love for ourselves. And although sometimes I know it does get a little lonely sometimes, but I would rather be on the top of a rooftop, do you understand me, than with a nagging man, a nagging woman, a cheating man, a cheating woman, a mischievous man, a mischievous woman, a man that can't control his nature, a woman who can't control her mouth. Just all of these things. I would rather be alone and have some peace in my environment than have somebody in my life that's keeping up all kinds of hell. Because I want you to understand some people are so broken that they're not satisfied unless they can make you feel bad. They're not satisfied unless they can keep up all kinds of hell. They're not satisfied no matter what, because that's the way their mind is. They haven't taken the time to really train their mind. Their mind is eating them alive, and they don't even understand that that's just the enemy using their brain, honey, to keep up confusion inside of their soul. So what they do is they go outside of themselves and they pick innocent people and loving people to treat bad because they wish that they could treat people good. And as sad as it is, that's how it is. So I just want you to know that I'm very proud of you tonight, that you are doing some great things, in your life. You are really doing, I'm so pleased. I see the comments and I see the growth. I see the connection. I see the love. I see the fellowship. I see just great things that God is doing. And I'm just so elated. And I'm so happy that you realize, particularly women, because men, y'all are a little bit different, but we're emotional. Particularly women, I'm so proud of you. That you know that you are beautiful and that you are special. That your body's sacred. And it's something to be just protected. And something to really appreciate and just value it and protect it. And allow God to dwell inside of you, so that you can have that soft, virtuous nature, feminine spirit. And everybody, this is for everybody. Don't bend on your boundaries. Don't compromise Don't compromise God for nobody. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to say this one more time and then I'm going to get up off of here tonight. People come and go. Honey, emotions come and go. Thoughts come and go. Jobs come and go. But one thing that's consistent in your life is God. That's something that will never leave you. And ain't nobody worth risking that connection, that protection, and that authority. Period. They can get mad. They can scream, cuss, and fuss. But at the end of the day, we have to stick with God. And we have to keep our boundaries in place. Because, baby, boundaries, I'm going to say this, that's a form of self-love, no matter who it applies to. I love you guys. Peace. Good night.